Calculating earthwork quantities can sometimes be quite a challenge. Recently, one of our partners posed this quite interesting problem, which is best understood using a picture. Given three different surface types, ground surface, rock, and finished ground, we are required to compute three different cut material types. Ground cut is the material that exists between the layers existing ground and rock. Material between the rock and finished ground layers is rock cut and needs to be separated into two groups. Rock cut that is deeper than, say, 5 feet, and rock cut less than 5 feet deep. The reason for reporting the rock cut separately is because contractors are usually paid by volume of rock if it's more than a certain depth, and by area otherwise. Let's see how we can tackle this problem in Terra Power Tools. We have created some surfaces in Civil 3D and imported them into Terra Power Tools. We have EG that represents the ground surface, finished ground, and rock. Here, in part 1 of this video series, we'll assume that the surfaces are laid out so that the ground surface EG always appears on top of the rock surface and never below it. Part 2 considers the general case and describes an alternate way to handle it. Let's go ahead and show only the surface boundaries. We can now see there is an alignment that goes from southwest to northeast. We have used this alignment as a path to generate a profile section view that shows the surfaces EG, FG, and rock. Let's compute some material volumes now. We will first see how to calculate the volumes as two materials similar to what you would get in Civil 3D using volume surfaces. The material definitions here identify the different regions of space that we are interested in and also define how these regions are to be constructed from the given surfaces. We have two material types here. Ground cut is the region below the ground surface, above rock, and above finished ground. Rock cut is below rock and above finished ground. Let's go ahead and compute these. We can now see the materials in the profile section view as well. Of course, this doesn't solve our problem since we have not separated out the rock cut by depth. To do that, let's look at our initial picture. The region of rock that lies 5 feet below its surface can be precisely identified by offsetting it vertically by -5 feet. Let's call this new surface rock -5. Next, we observe that wherever the surface rock -5 intersects finished ground, the depth of rock cut is precisely 5 feet. We also observe that rock -5 separates the rock cut material into three regions. One that is bounded by rock at the top and FG at the bottom. Two that is bounded by rock -5 at the top and FG at the bottom. And three that is bounded by rock at the top and rock -5 at the bottom. Note that two of these constitute the same material. Let's see how we can now use Terra Power Tools to identify our material types and calculate the volumes and surface areas. We have already created our rock -5 surface. To do that, we use the handy vertical offset command and selected rock and an offset distance of -5 feet. Next, we'll update the material table to separate out the rock cut as two different materials. Rock cut by volume is material with depth greater than 5 feet and is bounded by the surfaces rock and rock -5 and also by rock -5 and FG. Note that in the first of these definitions, if we don't add the above classification of surface FG, we'll get material that exists beyond FG as well. The other rock cut material, rock cut by area, is material that is less than 5 feet deep and is bounded by rock and FG. If we compute now, we obtain the desired material volume and area. We can now collapse the action and definition panes and view the chart and result panes. As we can see, either the material's volumes or areas can be used to calculate payments. Additionally, the results can be copied to the clipboard for use in a spreadsheet or cost estimate report. They can also be inserted to the active Civil 3D drawing as a table. Let's go ahead and create the profile section now. Note that the different coloration of the rock cut by volume material is meant as an aid to visualizing the solution a little better. It is still calculated and reported as the same material type. That concludes the first part of this video series. Thank you for watching.